All right, now we're going to conquer a mental emergency. Today's conquer comes from Beth, and she says, I've been married for 3 months. My husband is great. My father-in-law is great. But my mother-in-law is the epitome of monster-in-law. She controls everyone around her. She doesn't think before she speaks, and she's both passive-aggressive and openly confrontational. Ooh. During a family dinner last week, she openly humiliated me by criticizing my cooking. My husband did not say anything. My question is, should I expect my husband to step up to the plate since it's his mother, or should I just handle it myself? Ooh. She is causing crazy conflict in our marriage.
Yikes.
Help!
Wow.
Oh, that's a tough one, right?
You have something to say already?
Can I plead the fifth as a host? Is that
You're just worried because your mother-in-law's probably watching.
Actually, my mother-in-law is wonderful, and my mother's wonderful too, but one of the things that we agreed upon, my wife and I, is that we always confront our own mothers. So if my wife has an issue with my mom, I'm going to talk to her first, and if it needs to become a three-way dialogue, it can be, but I'm never going to expect my wife to cross that line and go over to my mom directly.
So you laid it out ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, because I was going to say, oftentimes you see that the husband doesn't confront his own mother because they've got the whole mommy-son thing going on, and they don't want to confront
And then you look like the bad person.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you've got some study results,
yeah,
right?
I do. And, you know, it's interesting. According to Cambridge research, 3 out of 4 couples experience significant conflict with their in-laws, but it's especially the mother. And believe it or not, 60% of women versus 15% of men have a problem in the relationship with their significant other's mother specifically.
Interesting.
So they call her pushy, overbearing, and disrespectful to boundaries. So here are the most common complaints about mother-in-laws.
Okay.
Pressures to have children.
Yes.
A know-it-all.
Sorry. Oh, was that out loud? Sorry about that.
No one is ever good enough for my son. Conflicting ideas over how to raise the kids. Pressure to conform to religious or cultural norms, and then there's just the common personality clashes.
And some of those, I think, aren't out of malice. Like no one's good enough for my son. Maybe that's out of love, and they don't realize that they're projecting that onto the woman. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There is the extreme, and kind of we're here talking about the extreme, but it's not always, I'm going to do something to hurt you. It's usually that protective mother-hen instinct
you have
coming
to
out.
Communicate.
Yeah, so what do? We want you to communicate. Number 1, communicate your concerns to your spouse, and I put in love. Don't go, I have a problem with your mom. No, what you want to do is make sure that you communicate effectively. And then you want to communicate and list the changes you want to see made. And this is all about saying, these are my expectations. But again, it's the way you do it and how you say it.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is write a plan. Or I'm sorry, list your boundaries and enforce them, and then write a plan.
Okay. So of how you're going to
handle it and how you're going to approach his mom. Because remember, it's really important to make sure that you have a plan for this and just don't go in there, you know, slashing
Right, well,
things.
and that's what I like about this, is that it gives you a concrete way to do this, instead of just saying, communicate with your spouse.
Yeah,
it's like,
lay it out.
Lay it out, let's figure this out, let's figure out a way to approach your mom about the concerns I have, and how are we going to work this out, because I can't keep doing whatever it is that's happening.
Something has to change.
Right.
Yeah, so
All right.
that's the conquer.
Thanks, Jada.